Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Nobody cares if we stand, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany, breaking if it hits the ground. I gotta find a way out.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. How's everybody doing this beautiful Wednesday morning? Yes, honey child. We are here live and direct from the beautiful Cayman Islands. Well, I would say Lower Valley, because definitely not Georgetown. So we got to give a big shout out to Bordentown. Yes, I guess we're technically considered part of Bordentown. Beautiful day today. Let me peep out the window and tell you. Yeah, nice breeze outside. Wow, we've been having a lot of wind lately. Have you guys noticed the wind action? Hurricane season is here. So I hope that you've already been thinking about your preparedness, because as you well know, so far it's been quiet, but this is certainly not the height of the season. And you know what happens? Yeah, they come out of nowhere, right off the coast of Africa. Next thing you know, we are in the middle of a storm. So be prepared, folks. Be prepared. I think I need to turn off the light above me. Give me 1 second. I want to check something in terms of my lighting. Oh, yes. That's way too much. All right, give me 1 quick second here. We're going to get that sorted out. And then I'm going to share the links, which I have not yet done. So give me a second to do that as well. Running around like a mad person this morning, honey chill. What can I say? All right. So sit back, relax. Here's a message.
Ready to elevate your presence and make a lasting impression? From July 28th to August 1st, join Melanie Sims, etiquette expert and founder of Polish Presence Consulting, for Polished Presence Etiquette Week at the Intergenerational Hub on McClendon Drive. This one-of-a-kind workshop blends tradition with modern-day relevance, perfect for young adults, job seekers, new grads, and professionals looking to sharpen their social and professional etiquette. Morning sessions, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., are tailored for ages 16 to 19, ideal for students heading off to college or entering the workforce. Evening sessions, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., welcome professionals 20 and up for a refined refresher in business etiquette, dining protocols, and communication skills. It's hands-on, it's interactive, and yes, there's even an optional upscale dining tutorial to pull it all together. Plus, you'll walk away with confidence, workshop swag, and a certificate of completion. Space is limited, and seats are going fast. Registration closes July 18th, so don't delay. Email info@ppcetiquette.com or WhatsApp 9252913 to register now. Polished Presence Etiquette Week, because confidence never goes out of style.
All right, folks. I know a lot of you are looking at options for your teens and even younger kids for summer. Summer is upon us, and that means that as a parent, trust me, everybody's looking for summer camp options. Oh gosh, I'm late on the pickup myself this year. I'm not going to lie. I don't have a plan. Last year, I was like, you know what? Just do pickleball the whole summer. It was a bit much, I think. And this year, she's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do pickleball. So we're going to mix it up. We're going to do some art camps because she claims that she wants to be an artist, honey chill. Now, it used to be a teacher. Now she wants to be an artist. And, we will continue and see where her interests lie. And she's entitled to change. But you have to make sure that you don't give your kids too many options in terms of how they're thinking, right? I know that sounds a little bit crazy. Like, what do you mean don't give them too many options? Well, you have to guide their thinking. So she says to me, this was a conversation the other day. Oh, Mom, I don't have to go to university because I'm going to be an artist. I said, oh, really? And I said, being an artist is going to pay your bills? She said, yes, I'm going to sell my art. And I said, oh, right. So that means now that you're running a business. And if you're selling your art and running a business, that means that you better know what you're doing. So, I'm not saying that has to be a 4-year university degree, but you better have some kind of business acumen, understanding finance, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, when you become an adult, the world of art is going to be tipsy-turvy because technology is going to drive, in my estimation, the even the artistic world. And she kind of like thought for a second. She's like, oh, I don't know. Do I need to pay bills? I'm like, girl, please. Yeah. All of us wish we didn't have to pay bills, but that's not how it works. So you got to make them think about certain things, because young kids, they're kind of living in la la land a little bit, and they're thinking that things in life are free because it's free for them right now. They're like, well, why wouldn't it be free when I'm an adult? No. At some point, you got to pay for it. Yep. So, I say you can be an artist. I love that. I mean, I think that's a great idea, but you can't be an artist that's just freeloading off of somebody else. I mean, don't know how that works. And I'm certainly not encouraging her to marry anybody rich. I mean, if that happens, great, but that's not why you're marrying him, right? So yeah, kids, they make you chuckle. These car conversations are just so funny. Anyway, I said, yeah, you got to get a job, honey child, and you to have bills to pay. Can I stay with you forever? Nope, you can't. Get out. The Caribbean model though. We don't really kick children out at 18. In fact, most Caribbean parents, if you could stay with them forever, they probably wouldn't mind it too much. Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, just stay in your back room, have your kids back there, do everything. I kind of grew up with the American model where at 18, which is kind of your age of maturity, you better have some sort of a plan. So, you're either working and contributing in some way to the household, or you're in school. And then, well, if you're in school, we figure out how to pay for it. So we might have to, get scholarships and all these other things, or alternatively, we hustle and pay by the semester if we don't qualify for a scholarship, whatever it is. But you don't get the option of just lounging around. Although I'll tell you, the economy of being a student, a young adult now has really changed, and we have more and more young people actually staying at home with their parents, and that was not the case. They were, getting out there on their own. Now you're more likely to be well into your 20s and maybe even early 30s staying at home with mom and dad because you can't afford to go out on your own. And I'm not talking about Cayman, I'm talking about in the United States of America. That's how it is, honey Gia. So we'll see what the economy is like when she turns the age of majority. But I'm recommending, that she looks at some different options that will broaden her horizon. You're gonna do something. You're gonna travel the world. You're gonna go to university. Because the university isn't about the academic degree for me. It's about the experience. I mean, I can't tell you, if you've never been to university, what it's like, really. Living with people from all walks of life, meeting people from all walks of life, studying with people, even that experience alone, beyond the academic stuff, really, really broadens your horizon. Going away from home for the first time, being on your own, having to manage a little budget. It was like, for me, who went from, I told you guys, my aunt was very, very controlling. Going from that to, I chose to move out. She would have had me still living with her now if it was up to her. That's how controlling she was. And I was like, that wasn't me. So I was like, nope, 18. See you later, honey child. I'm out of here. And, I don't know if I told you guys the story or not, but my aunt was not ready for me to leave because she was a single mom. She had one son and he lived with her forever, right up until when she died in her, I think she was in her mid 80s, right? Oh no, I dropped my tablet. Oh man, I got to take these for my stomach because I'm taking some very strong. I'll have to take in another one, Sha. I'm taking some very strong painkillers. I'm taking this thing to make sure they don't upset my stomach. Anyway, so the day I got up and told Aunt Lottie I was moving out, she didn't take it well. She actually had a bit of a nervous breakdown, I'll be honest with you. I felt so bad, but I couldn't allow that to stop me from, like I said, if I stayed with her, I knew this was going to be staying with her forever. And I was like, no, this isn't normal. It's not normal for people to stay with their parents or their parental figure forever. I got to get the heck out of here. And despite her being very controlling, I was a very independent, like I went there, I just turned 9. So I was a very independent minded child already. That's why she had such a hard time with me, because I was like, I was always questioning stuff and I don't know about this. And so, she's like, no, just stay here forever. And I said, no, I got a plan. And I had everything figured out. I had somebody who was going to help me move and the whole 9 yards. And poor Aunt Lottie, she didn't take it well. She tried to force me to stay. And well, you guys know you can't force Auntie Sandy to do much of anything, even at 18. So once I reached the legal age, and in her mind, how Dr. Carlos was talking about how we have these imprints. So you have to understand your parents and where they're coming from and perhaps their experiences and what they had imprinted on them. So I knew she stayed at home her entire life, grew up in the family home. And so she was very much about that kind of mindset. And she thought that that was normal. I didn't think that that was normal. And so I said, this really isn't going to work for me. I need to get out of here. I need to experience the world. I need to make decisions on my own. I need to have my own little bank account. I need to have a little job. And she was just not ready to let me go. So she'd be clocking me like I had a little job, even my first year in university. And heaven forbid, if I missed the bus, I had to do all kind of explaining. I'm like, I worked late. I was actually working at the school newspaper at USF. It was called the Oracle. I think it's still called the Oracle all these years later. And so, yeah, I was like, honey, chill. I was late because I was interviewing the president of the university. You can't be clocking me like this now. And so I started at 17. I started university at 17. So I had to stay home until I turned 18. And then I said, I got to go. And so I got an RA job. That's why I got an RA job, to pay for food and at least have something to eat and room and board. And I knew that I had to work, shift work and balance school and all kind of stuff. Didn't have a car, didn't have anything. And so I remember the day that I moved out, man, poor Aunt Lottie, she was crying. Don't do this. Don't move out. Where are you going? In her mind, I wanted to move out because I wanted a boyfriend. Like, that's all she could think about. Like, that's the only reason people move out. And I was like, no, but hopefully I'll get a boyfriend because that's part of life. Like learning to navigate relationships and all this kind of stuff. She wanted me to be a 60-year-old virgin practically. And I was like, hello, honey child. So she was just, and you know what she did? Poor Aunt Lottie. Oh my gosh. I felt bad, but I knew I had to do what I had to do. Like, I wouldn't be here today had I not left in that moment, right? So what she did was, when I was getting ready to leave, she said to me, well, you can't take anything. Because then she thought, okay, if I can't take clothes, certainly I can't go. So she said, you can't take anything. I bought you these things. You can't take this. And I said, oh, okay, bye. And she's like, wait a minute. Where are you going? You can't leave without clothes. I'm like, well, what's it going to be? You just told me I can't take clothes. And then you're telling me I can't leave without clothes. So, well, how is this going to work? I'll leave without clothes because, I'll figure it out. And that in that moment, she realized that that I was going. I think she thought there was some way of still, it was kind of manipulation in a way, but like I said, she was imprinted with her own experiences, right? She was afraid. She was a person who's afraid of a lot of things. She was a hypochondriac. She always was complaining about all sorts of ailments and stuff. And I knew that she was afraid to really fully live life, because she grew up very, very sheltered. She grew up in a time when, you know, that's how it was. And so she never got out there and lived on her own and whatever. She was always a homemaker. She always had a male figure in the household working. They were the ones who worked and supported. She worked and she had a family business. So she actually was trained in cosmetology. And so, she would do, she did that way before I knew her, and she worked in the family. They had a dry cleaners, and she worked in the family dry cleaners, but she never worked out. She never went to school. She went to cosmetology school, but she never actually really went out there. And so she thought that that was going to be my life. She was afraid. Part of it too was she was afraid because I wasn't her child. I was somebody else's child. So she never wanted something to happen to me, big United States of America, scary place. She never wanted anything to happen to me where it was like she'd have to call my dad and say, oh gosh, Sandy got kidnapped or whatever. She never wanted that, obviously. So it was very complicated. It was a very, very complicated relationship. It was very, very challenging. And because she was such a control freak, it added a lot of complications to our relationship. So I left, and I remember her one day, it took a time of separation before I could start to converse with her again, because the control was too much. So I needed to be out there on my own. And then slowly I started to communicate with her on my own terms. When I was ready, I started to check in with her and say, hey, I'm good. Back then we didn't have mobile phones or anything. So I just call her and say, I'm okay. Do you want me to come by and see you? But I'm not staying. I'm just going to come visit. Because then I'm like, gosh, she's going to kidnap me. I'll never be able to leave. So it was very, very complicated. People are complicated. Relationships are complicated. Our parent-child relationships are very, very complicated. And so I can't wait to have Dr. Carlos on the program, because I feel like we have so much as individuals that we have to unpack, because quite frankly, these things, I love how he said that whether it's good, bad, or whatever, this has an impact on us. And so I think that that's right. And there are times when I have to pause. I have to hit the pause button in my life, and I have to reflect on how it has made me who I am, the good and the bad, because I have a tendency to have abandonment issues and feeling like if I can't control a relationship or a situation, like it spirals. And so sometimes we have to be very, very careful with these things and kind of take a step back. So I loved having Dr. Carlos on. We're talking, and I'm hopeful that he will be doing a show at least once a month here on CMR. And it's phenomenal in so many ways. And so as parents, we have to navigate all of those things, because obviously those things have the ability to impact how we parent. Like our parenting style is oftentimes dictated by the parenting style of our own parents. And so we have to be very, very, very careful. And so I try not to be a helicopter parent. I try not to be super controlling. I want to give her some freedoms, so when she talks about the things that she wants to do in her life, even being an artist, I think I love artists, and I think that's amazing. Do I think that's a sustainable job in Cayman that's really going to pay the bills? Not so much so. But, I don't really say that to her. I don't say, oh, you cannot be an artist. I just say, well, how are you going to do it? How are you going to pay the bills? How are you going to do this? to kind of get her to think there's more to it. There's a couple little art pieces that she's done up recently, some abstract pieces, and she really likes a lot of things. And I say, well, sometimes you have to be artistic and you work that on the side and then you do something else. It's like people who want to act or whatever. When you're in the arts, right? You got to be waitressing and busting tables. And then on the side, you're going to auditions and whatever until you make it. And that's just how it is, right? So we'll see, honey child. She's still pretty young. But yeah, I try to give her, the space to be who she is, and to grow. So let's talk about some news items. First of all, there's a lot going on in the courts that's shocking. There's a guy, and somebody was just saying to me, isn't this the guy that his picture was recently being circulated in relation to an alleged relationship with someone who is now deceased? And I must say, somebody's going to have to help me out here because I don't have the best memory sometimes with these photos, but he did kind of look familiar. Did you guys see the story about the guy who overstayed all these years? Is that the same guy whose picture was recently being circulated in relation to Judy-Ann? What's her name? Judy-Ann Miles? It's Miles, right? My apologies for not remembering her last name. Is that him? You guys saw that picture, right? And I was trying to remember. I'm like, come to think of it, I do feel like I've seen that picture somewhere before. I'd have to go through my photos, but is that the one that it was being rumored that he was connected to her, like he was having some kind of relationship with her? Help me out here. That's weird. Because it didn't occur to me when I saw Renee put up the story, but now that somebody else has mentioned it, I'm kind of thinking that it might be. All right, those of you who sent me that guy's picture, have a look at the news article and tell me if that's the one that was circulating. Because if that is, this certainly adds a very interesting layer to this story. My brain is swirling, honey child. Detective mode activated. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, whoa, this just got interesting. Because remember, he was arrested. And then the wife never really said what he was. Oh my gosh, is this him? Help me out, senior detectives. Because I'm thinking about this now. And, I told you guys that his wife had reached out to me and supposedly wanted to meet. And that is him. Oh my God. What the hell? I'm sorry. I'm shocked this morning. Wow. That was what was being circulated, right? Oh, no way. Okay, let's back it up. Rewind, honey child. So when all of this went down, the wife reached out and she's like, oh, my husband wants to talk to you because people are circulating his picture saying that he's the one who did this to Judy-Ann and he didn't do it and did it. I'm like, hold on. Stick a pin, honey child. Let me understand your logic. Your husband's photo is being circulated about being involved in a potential murder. And he wants to talk to me and he wants to meet with me? Erks! Pump the brakes. Y'all think I'm crazy? Not gonna be me going missing next, honey child. I was like, hell no. Y'all take me for a fool, but I ain't no fool. I'm like, listen, there's nothing that your husband and you can't say over the phone. I don't need to meet you in person. Sorry for you, but am I right or am I right? I don't care that the RCIPS not solved nothing yet. Your name being called up in these streets, and you and I are gonna go sit down and do what? Have coffee? You want me to go and sit down and meet with you at the cafe? Meet with you in the bushes with a canister of gas? You must have lost your goddamn mind. I was like, hell no. So I'm like, no, Bobo, that TD, that I could work. Tell your husband I'm happy to talk to him on the phone. A phone call will do just as well. So, we ain't doing no in-person meeting, honey. Yeah, no, Bobo. We're not doing that. And if we do, we meet at the police station. I'll sit in the detective chair and you sit over across the table and I'll be surrounded with some armed units. So we're going to start that out real fast. Anyway, that is him. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. Ooh, honey, child. This is next level. So hear the story now. Wow. Well, this is pretty crazy because he is now I know why he was arrested. Apparently the dude has overstayed. Hear this story. Hear this mix up. He has overstayed for how many years? 6 years? Lord Jesus. More than 6 years after his permit expired. And then he has been married multiple times during the period of his unauthorized stay. He's just been sentenced to 12 months in jail. So I have a theory. Detectives, Sleuth University, follow me along here. It seems awfully coincidental that the RCIPS would have arrested him right around the timing for this situation with Miss Judy Ann. And on top of that, listen, this is very, very interesting. They actually get a quick conviction and now he's sitting in jail. Oh, perhaps what they're doing is they're buying themselves some time until they can further. Remember people said he was a mechanic. Yes. Maybe they're buying some time until they can further build their case. I'm just saying this makes sense because either way, he's off the streets and he's in jail. They've now got 12 months, well, 60% of 12 months to work it, to try to pull this case together, see what really happened to Judy Ann, build a murder case, if that's what it was. It looks like that's what it was. And then before he's released, lay charges against him for that. Suspicious. Very, very interesting. Yes, now it's beginning to make some kind of sense. In a roundabout way. Wow, that's crazy, right? Yeah, Lucky Body says that's a good strategy. That would be good policing strategy. Because sometimes you can't get the person on what you're trying to get them on. You guys see this in the States all the time. They can't get you on the gangster stuff. So they get you conspiracy. They get you on, what's the other charge called? Racketeering or whatever. Not filing your taxes. And then, you go to jail for that. Because sometimes, not filing your taxes put you in jail for a really long time. So yes, maybe they're just buying themselves some time. Oh, this is interesting. All these marriages. Now, it would make it even more interesting in terms of a potential motive, because the allegations, what the streets were saying, and again, these are what the streets were saying, is that he was upset that Judy Ann didn't want him on a permanent basis, like she was not willing to leave her husband for him. So maybe he was moving on to marriage number 4, And because of who she was, a professional, good job, he thought that marriage number 4 would be the one that would secure him the ability to stay in the Cayman Islands. I'm just saying, my detective brain is now working overtime about the possibilities. Nicole Riches, I'm here for it. Give it to me, Detective Sandra. Haven't watched for a minute, forgot how fun it can be. What a hot mess. Girl, let me tell you something, honey child. This is interesting. You got to look at motive and opportunity, right? Is that enough? Someone who's overstayed for over 6 years, married 3 times already, and you walk up to her and say, I want you to be wife number 4. And she's like, pump the brakes. I'm not about that life. I ain't leaving my husband for you. You just a convenient side piece, whatever. You fix my car and then you fix my other brakes every once in a while. And he wanted more. Oh my God. Could it be? Speculation, but I'm telling you, I'm suspicious of certain people. So apparently, what? No way. So somebody's saying that he had ripped them off. He's supposed to be a mechanic. He ripped them off, and then they told him I was going to CMR, and then he gave me my money back, bro. You were destined to be on CMR. No matter how you sliced it, you were destined to be CMR. Lord Jesus. Wow. Wow. What a hot mess. Damn. This is very, very suspicious, I must tell you. His daughter is married to his wife's nephew. Ugh, a little bit incestuous. He also used to be by her daughter's house. The wife's daughter's house? Oh, down the same area too. Ew. Well, I tell you what, Caymanians, this is why y'all need to be careful. I'm telling you, not everybody who's here and willing to jump up on top of you and get married to you means you any good. I'm just saying, y'all have got to be very, very careful. A lot of these people are just using you. And when they can't get what they want from you, that you become a liability, a murder by passion. If I can't have you as wife number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, nobody's going to have you. Oh my goodness. Be careful the riffraff that you pick up. Wow. And this dude wanted to meet with me. Ooh, honey child, I'm not your cup of tea. You can believe that, Bobo. No, sir. Oh, nope, and nope. Not today, Bobo. Oh my goodness, this is so crazy. I remember now when the wife had reached out. I was like, from the second she's like, oh, my husband, people circulating these rumors about my husband. I was like, good for you. I know he wants to dispel the rumors. Come on the show, but we ain't meeting up in person. No. We ain't doing that, Bobo. Under no circumstances. Lord Jesus. Take the wheel. Take the whole bus. Take the whole entourage of buses. Because let me tell you something. Wow. Well, RCIPS, do your thing, honey child. Get that investigation going. Bring in all the experts because we need this one solved. This is quite a conundrum. And the worst part of this, I'll be honest with you, is, they actually had whoever did whatever to Judy Ann, actually had her go buy her own gasoline in the canister That's crazy. They probably said we ran out of gas. Now, anybody calls me talking about they ran out of gas, Bobo, you know what I can tell you? Call your mechanic. Don't call me, because I ain't stopping by no gas station to pick up no gas for nobody. I'm not that friend, okay? Let me be very, very clear. You can message me for gas money, and even then, I'm gonna call the gas station and say, you know what, my friend needs gas money. Put it on credit for me, and I'll come sort it out later. I ain't coming to you like that. But you see, you trust people. This had to have been someone that she trusted that could have gotten her down there. Oh, Lord. We really need a, yes, that is him. I'm looking at some other pictures that I have of him. Oh my God. Yep. I'm going back in my archives. Because, you know, people were rumoring back in, what month was this? Back in April, that this is what went down. Everybody's pointing fingers at him. Now, they always say it's the ones closest to you. So maybe people are pointing fingers at him for that reason. And, you know, but, you know, something like 70-80% of the times it is the person that is closest to you, the person that you trust to take a canister of gas to. My Lord, I feel so horrible about this situation. I really, really hope that they are able to solve this case. Wow. That is him, though. Oh my gosh. Damn. What a hot mess. Come on through, honey child. Come on through. This is really something else. No omelet for Zeus this morning? Zeus had a good time yesterday eating his omelet. Yeah, he can get spoiled. That's true. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Boy, your detective mind working this morning? Mine's into overtime.
Oh my God. Hey, there's so much things going on in Cayman.
Trust me.
That is not being adequately addressed. Something just being pushed to the side, not giving the priority level that they should. So when that happens, things begin to slide. Now, I say that to say this. You remember the guy that was in charge of head of hospitality studies at UCCI, William Jackson? From 2021, that case has not had anything else said about it. So this is June of 2025, which is 5 years ago. What are the RCIP doing about this? We brought back Saeed all the way from Switzerland, charged him. He went to prison, did his time, and he was deported.
True.
So what's so difficult about bringing this person back and charging them and doing the same? Just a thought.
Very good question.
Okay.
Thank you so much. My apologies for crunching, but I got to take my medication because, you know, my knee. But listen here now. That's a good question. And I'm going to ask the RCIPS because, you know, sometimes we forget. We forget about these cases in a way. So I'll follow up with the, I can make a little note here to myself. I'm going to follow up with them. Because chances are, I think my investigations, if my memory serves me correctly, he was Jamaican, as I recall, but he had some connections in the States. So as far as I know, he's either in Jamaica or in the US, so he shouldn't be that hard to find. Anyway, honey child, this guy that you're looking at, his name is Perry O'Neill Davis. He had his RERC previously revoked, and he was sentenced yesterday by, not yesterday, sorry, the day before, on the 16th by Magistrate Philippa Gunn. Is that her name? Isn't Magistrate Gunn? Hold on. I don't think that's her first name, Hold on. No, it's not Philippa. Oh my Lord. Renee, honey child, you gotta hold on. Let me message her. There's an error in this story. It's not Philippa Gunn. Hey, wrong name of the magistrate. She took two magistrates' names and confused them. There's Philippa McFarland and there is Christiane Gunn. All right, let me get onto her. There is no Philippa Gunn, so please verify. Yeah, she'll fix that because that's correct. That's incorrect. She should know better than that. Come on, girl. That's an amateur mistake now. So it's either Philippa Gunn or Magistrate Christiane Gunn. Let me send her the list of the magistrates so she can remember who they are. But she does a lot of court stories, so she should know. All right, so we'll fix that. But probably just a typo, All right, pleading guilty to remaining on island without legal authorization since December of 2018. His last valid immigration status ended in late 2018 following a brief and unsuccessful stint with Island Electronics. After his work permit was terminated, shortly after issuance, he later worked for a mobile automotive repair business, and his final lawful employment concluded in December of 2018, after which he continued residing and working in the islands without the necessary permits. How do you go 6 years and they not find you? That's my question too. I want to talk about this in relation to compliance, even with traffic offenses, right? Do we not have reporting tools to say, run a report for me and tell me as of today's date, how many people's work permits have expired, been canceled, whatever, and we don't have an exit entry for them where they've left Cayman? WORC, do y'all care to explain to me how this is possible? Because what you then do, suggestion here, take it for free, is you actually post up a bulletin board. CMR will do it for you at no cost to WRC. We're gonna throw in something free for government, right? All the people who have overstayed every single month, give us the list and we'll put up an overstayers bulletin. Because God knows we have an amazing success story when it comes to actually finding people for you. We can find just about anybody. By the way, can I give you a shameless plug this morning? Guess what business license I just got in the post yesterday? Post meaning email. Because, we don't do old-fashioned posts anymore. Guess what business license? Oh, I got some gift certificates. We're going to do a trivia question this morning. Honey child. Okay. Trivia question. We got Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Horton gift certificates. Woo-woo! You get to pick one of your choice. Here's the trivia question for today. What business Yeah, somebody said I can hear it now, but data protection. We got to talk about this data protection foolishness because I tell you what, they ain't got no sense over there sometimes. I'm just saying. There's data protection and then there's we ain't got no sense protection. And we should really try to, fine tune that legislation. All right. So hear me now. Oh, what business license did Auntie just get approved yesterday? Good morning, caller. What do you think?
I don't know the exact name, but is it like a media license to have your CMR media?
Nope. We had media license 8 years ago. That ain't it, honey chill. All right. Keep thinking. Keep thinking about it. Look at all these beautiful gift certificates I got for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me take his picture off the big screen. Because, Lord, I don't want y'all looking at him too much. Because some of y'all fools will be trying to marry him in jail. I know y'all. I know exactly what y'all gonna do. You're like, oh, I'll be wife number 4. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
The license for the radio station.
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry, honey chow. Come on, get yourself a gift certificate. Hurry up, get yourself a gift certificate. I feel like I need to, somebody said private investigating. No, that's just my side job. Oh my goodness. Nope, that ain't it either. Oh my gosh, this one is stumping y'all. Okay. Good morning, caller. Which one did I get?
Can I win it?
No, you try and come off my phone.
I can win it and gift it to someone.
No. We want people to
They will
really
never guess.
We want people to really think about this one.
Give them a clue.
Oh my
All right.
goodness. All right, it's
Bye.
not PI. Somebody else said private investigating. Nope. That ain't it
Cool,
either.
Bye.
That's not it. Bye-bye. Boy, this one has got y'all stumped. Oops. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I just tried to adjust my thing, but that don't look right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. What do you think it is?
Dash cam.
No, that's retail. I've been had a retail license forever. Nope. That ain't it.
Right.
Bye. No. I've had a retail license before I had even CMR. Morning.
Morning.
What do you think it is?
Is it debt collection?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. You are a winner, honey child. Which gift certificate do you want? Burger King, Popeyes, or Tim Hortons?
Popeye.
All righty. Got yourself a nice $10. That can buy you lunch, $10 gift certificate. Just WhatsApp me your name, please, and I'll get you sorted out. I appreciate it. Yes, I got my debt collector, CMR debt collection services coming your way, honey chill. We will help you collect your money. We're doing that anyway. Now we can do it for companies, and because some of y'all companies be calling me and I'm like, listen, you need a service? Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Just a wild guess. Is it Sandy's Kitchen?
No, but we just got a winner. It's debt collection services.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. She didn't really sound that excited. She's like, okay, I won't be needing that. Everybody pays me my money. Yeah, that's yep. Got it yesterday. And I already have clients who are waiting on me to get it. So I was telling them, hold on, give me a minute. Let me get it in my hand before we start trading. I'm just saying. So we now have a license for CMR debt collection services. How many of y'all gonna pay up when you hear CMR debt collection services calling you? Good morning, caller.
Yes, you try don't come for me. I don't have no money. I go with any debt. So you take my name off the list.
Oh my goodness, you're not high rolling?
Yeah, all right, babe.
All
Take
right.
care.
Damien, license to kill? No. TV, nope. Business license. Well, of course, they're all business licenses. Few of you were guessing TV shows. Let me see what's up. Brownies. Martini. Is it brownies? Did you get a license to make brownies? Nope. Don't need a license for that. Good morning, Richard from the UK. What? What are you doing over there? Are you having a nice vacation or is it work? Great Summerford, Wiltshire. And it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Dawn says that should scare them into complying. What a hot mess. Marjorie says, now you can help me. Who owes you money, girl? What a hot mess. All right. So yes, I got my debt collection license. I want to be fully compliant, right? So listen, we got to figure out a way to, and maybe this is a legit question for the ombudsman, where we can post these people, okay? If they are in breach of the law, like just how when they're looking for other criminals, they can tell us that they're looking for them. So why can't we post all these people who are overstaying? Let me see here now. I am going to reach out to the ombudsman's office and inquire, because this is a very, very good question. All right, let's see. Let's see how far this so-called privacy law. I mean, you don't have to say what they're wanted for, so maybe that's a workaround. You can just say that these persons, WORC enforcement, is looking for these individuals. And if you don't say anything else, maybe that doesn't, you gotta be smart about this stuff. You gotta know how to work around it. All right. I'll get some answers. I'm gonna reach out to the ombudsman's office. I bet you they've never even thought about this yet. Somebody might have to tweak that legislation, honey child. We'll see. Anyway, this guy overstayed for over 6 years, all kind of marriages, which means, by the way, despite the fact that he was marrying these people, was he not trying to apply for RERC or was it being declined? It's an interesting question. This is what it says. The failure to seek legal status, despite being married to Caymanian spouses, and the use of a business entity set up by his wife to give the parents of legitimate employment. Ooh, honey child. Miss Sharon, you lucky that they not arrested you too. Oh my God. Hold on a second. Wow. So he never even bothered to apply. Anyway, imagine if he hadn't overstayed for 6 years, he might not have been here to get involved in other things, potentially. The magistrate rejected his claim of financial hardship, noting that this should have prompted him to seek advice from immigration officials rather than continuing to work illegally. Wow. So she referred to this 2022 case of Dennis Augustus Ramsey, who received 2 years in prison for a decade-long overstaying and attempting to use fake travel documents. The magistrate said that Davis's circumstances warranted a significant sentence, though not as severe. Wow. Unbelievable. This is crazy. You see, as the Caymanian spouse, do you not know that your husband is involved in overstaying? Like, I'm sorry, but I am a little bit confused here because you have to know. Because if you marry someone and they apply for RERC as a Caymanian spouse, you actually have to fill out the paperwork as well. So I kind of feel like there's a little bit of aiding and abetting going on here by the Caymanian spouse. Wow. Lady, I mean, I got a lot of questions for you. Maybe you were afraid of becoming a victim, but I don't know. Something kind of suspicious. And so, I have a lot of questions. If I were detectives, that I would want to ask of you also. Yes, Miss Sharon, may I have questions, honey child? I have questions for you. So he was arrested the weekend of, she reached out on April the 5th. Just reviewing my message. Said someone decided to send out some pictures of my husband saying that it was him that shot and burnt this lady and was found in the burning vehicle on Thursday in Lookout Gardens. The first story that went around was that he was the one that was shot and burnt, and then the story changed up that he was the one that killed this lady. So I was like, oh. And then, wow. And then by Sunday, the police called him to come in and clear his name. So we're on our way there now. You see what I'm telling you? The police not worried about him clearing his name. They realize, this person of interest is of interest for other reasons, and we need to keep him in custody. It's a very, very street smart strategy, police. Go on through with your bad selves. Sharon, you better go get yourself a divorce. I'm just saying, if I were you. And you're lucky that you're not being charged with aiding and abetting a fugitive, or, because you would have known that he was overstaying. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Auntie. Beautiful morning. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, before the wife was even charged with aiding and abetting, it's the police that not doing the job because they wasn't really worried about it, or he got police connections because, first of all, he overstayed, right? Okay, they can't find him or whatever, right? You say he was married 4 times, so you mean during the marriage of 4 times, does the marriage has to be registered?
Well, this is what somebody just said to me. Because they said, I thought that the marriage officer required proof of citizenship or legal rights to be here.
Exactly.
So I wonder who married them.
Well, that's something to find out. And beyond that, if the officer never made, if the marriage officer never reported or whatever,
the necessary inquiries.
He had to register. Yeah, but it would have been registered, I guess, under whatever circumstances, so they couldn't look and say, well, this is the same guy that we're looking for, and he's married. So it's he got some police connections, and they allowed him to stay. So that not a puzzle in that. That's the logical explanation.
I must tell you that. Yeah, this sounds like pure slackness for sure. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right.
Thank you, my dear. That's a good question. And somebody else was just thinking about it. They're like, hold on a second. How is that possible? That's a very good question. These are the failures in the system. Why people say that the system is corrupt. Even if the system, let's give WRC the benefit of the doubt. Let's give these agencies the benefit of the doubt, right? That there's not deep-seated corruption here. It is questions like this that make you wonder, right? How he was able to overstay for this long without marriage officers catching him 3 times, not once, but 3 different marriages. Oh my God. This is crazy. I agree. Something not right with that story. Thank you. You've been promoted, sir. Senior detective ranking. Lord have mercy. Immigration, we got some questions for y'all. Y'all need to shape up. I wonder who married him all 3 times. Can we find that out? Tartarian says immigration's sitting on there, you know what, and not doing a damn thing. How can someone stay in a small place like He-Man for 6 years and immigration not know? Wow. I do have a lot of questions. I mean, it's crazy. Wow. Irvin says, you could report to enforcement at such date. Anthony says, as usual, PP got them women mad here in Cayman. It's not just the women, sir. The men being stupid too. They doing the most for little straight hair and crooked teeth. Tartarian says, what about the marriage officers? Right? You guys are thinking smart, thinking really smart. Because many of our own people are void of intelligence, this Voyager, and this country's greed, this place is doomed to hell. Tartarian goes on to say, Cayman is a walk in the park. No, sir. Maybe it's the same marriage officer, says Damien. I'm curious now about who actually married them, because they're supposed to be vetting applicants. I wonder when was the last marriage that he undertook? How quick were these marriages? Even that alone is a red flag. 3 marriages in 6 years? I mean, unless your name is what her name is again? The one lady who married the most, the celebrity lady that died. I'm picturing her now. Black hair. She had like 8 or 9 marriages. What's her name again? Lord have mercy. Hold on. Elizabeth Taylor. Unless your name is Elizabeth Taylor, you shouldn't be marrying 3 times in 6 years. So that has me thinking as well. You guys are so smart. You're like, Elizabeth Taylor. Jim says definitely marriage is a convenience. Even that becomes obvious. And at least Elizabeth Taylor lived to be in her 80s, so she kind of spread them out a little bit. I don't know how long her longest marriage was, but what a hot mess. I tell you. Good morning, honey child.
Good morning, Sandy. So he got married. How did he file for a divorce?
Well, he was married to Sharon currently.
Right,
how did he file for divorce?
You're right. So if you get a divorce, it has to go through the courts. I'm just saying. You did it. You got divorced 3 times and no one knew.
I'm wondering now if this is a case of bigamy.
But you still had to file it.
No, bigamy. He didn't marry.
Yeah.
He didn't divorce.
Right. I get you. And the second thing, if he's getting away with this type of crime, you imagine the people in the white collar crime, what they're getting away with. The people that actually have money.
And people that have a little bit more sense, because I mean, he probably not the smartest.
Obviously not. But I'll leave you with that, Mama Go.
Thank you, honey chow. Boy, this case, this is making us really think that our system is broken. I mean, it's busted and broken, folks, in more ways than one. Let me take a bite out of my crispy how we call it? Breadfruit. Wow. Have I eaten enough to take my medication without it upsetting my stomach? I think I'm going to go ahead and take it. Anyway, this is a hot mess, y'all. I have a lot of questions. Honestly, this is a case study in how not to do it, how we got it wrong. No, sir. And you see now, my question is this. When this goes to court and all of this happens, do the authorities sit back and say, we need a review of the system that we know now is broken? I mean, does that happen? Or do they not even bother? You know what I'm saying? Because where there's multiple things here. There are multiple gaps, multiple failures. Who really can be held responsible for this? This is part of our biggest problem. There's never, when we talk about accountability, there's never any accountability. Okay, he goes to jail for a year. Good, finally. But how did the system fail? How did WRC not know all this time that he overstayed? How did the marriage officers, who married him? Like, these agencies need to now carry out a much more thorough investigation. So somebody said to me, they just give me an officer's name over at but you know, they're not gonna say anything. I think we need to go up the chain of command. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
All right. The same reason they can stay for 6 years is the same reason they can always be in work. And most of us, a majority of us, out of work.
Say that last bit again. Most of us are what?
Out of work. And I'm not talking to 3, 4, 5 experts, as they say, the ones that sitting down, the ones that look in work, people that need work, night work, day work, they can't find work because they working in the day and in the night. You have a good one, all right? All
right. Wow. Anthony says more than likely a pastor from one of those churches located in a plaza. Well, even if they marry him, they still got to fill out a little immigration paperwork. E. Williams has a good question. Was he legally divorced from the previous wives? We don't even know. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Nicole. Mr. Amelia, good morning. Let's make a phone call this morning, because to me, this is a hot mess that needs some further explanation. We can't just let this go so. No, sir. Too much slackness around the place, if you ask me.
The number you dialed is temporarily out of service.
Say what? Hold on, honey child. Let's call them on WhatsApp then. I think something going on with Flo in their phones, you know. Last couple of days, I've been sending phones straight to voicemail, talking about some strange message. All right, let me see if I can get the deputy governor on the phone. Because I want to know, with a case like this, are they going to launch an internal investigation into how this dude has been here for over 6 years? We need to know. All right. Let me see if I can get a hold of him. I'm just waiting on the WhatsApp application to start up. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, I think he might be overseas. You know, I think somebody told me that the other day. I think he, I believe I heard that he was actually overseas. So let me not call him. Someone's giving me the number of the supervisor at WRC. They're not going to answer the phone and give us anything useful, I can tell you that. All right. Oh, he's getting his eyes tested. So, all right, he's not available. Somebody said, good morning. Who is marrying these greasy Try and behave yourselves. Mm-hmm. We got some questions, and we're going to try to get some answers for you guys. I'm going to ask the various agencies for something on this, because this just doesn't set well with me. None at all. I'll come back to you guys. Jim says they know it's broken. Well, if they know it's broken, then they need to fix it. You don't know that something is broken and then do nothing about it. That's what I'm saying, Damien, that technology is there. It should be easy to generate these reports. Same thing with DVDL. We have all these people around with no license, no registration, no this, no that. Can we not run a couple reports? Oh my God. Candy said, but if he was married 3 times in 6 years, the 2 first marriages could have been null. You can nullify marriage in the period of 2 years. After 2 years, it will have to go to court. No. That's not how it works. You don't just nullify it on your own. Regardless, you have to go to court. And the court has to, and it depends on what grounds, right? So say, for example, you never consummated the marriage. That is one of the grounds that you can have, they don't call it nullify, there's another term for it, but that's one of the grounds that you can apply to get a marriage actually, what's the legal term again? Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to tell you what the term is. It's annulled. Yes. So you can get it annulled, but the court has to annul it. You don't do that yourself. So he still has to apply. There's still paperwork that's required to get an annulment. And you have to prove, because there's only certain circumstances that you can actually get an annulment. So you have to submit the paperwork and say, we didn't consummate the marriage, or it was fraud or whatever. And that's how you would get an annulment. Remember the Jamaican guy who was trying to get his marriage annulled, claiming fraud? He messaged me the other day with his foolishness about how the story is still up about him. I'm like, dude, get a life. All these years later, I said, that's because you're trying to defraud somebody else into another marriage. And so you don't want them to be able to Google your name and see all the foolishness that you were going on with. You sit there. So you can't just go and get it annulled on your own, Candy. So that doesn't really explain this. There's only 2 possible explanations. Number 1, he was committing bigamy, which is another offense. Or number 2, he was getting a divorce. He was going through the court system, getting a divorce, and the systems are not talking to each other. This is another problem. Right? So let's have a look at the judicial system. And this is the problem with divorces, though. A lot of times they're on the list and then they just show you a blank form, says application or whatever. They don't actually show you, because it's considered family court, I guess. Sometimes those things are private. But his name should still be on one of the public registries if he actually got a divorce, like a proper divorce, if he went through the right means of getting it. Let me see here now. Let's see if we can search the judicial website. All these things are a matter of public record. So, public registers. So every time somebody gets sued, that shows up here. But the public registers, are they searchable by name? Let's see. Well, his name isn't coming up. Perry Davis. No. Now, I see something here for summary court with a Perry Davis, Samantha Scott versus Perry Davis. But I don't know if this is the same Perry Davis, because let's look at what this is. This is just a plaint for summary court. They don't have a middle name, so there could be more than one Perry Davis. You know what I mean? So let me just have a look here and see what this was. There's only one way to figure this one out. So lots of questions here. And of course, if he had committed bigamy, RCIPS, make sure y'all get him on that offense as well, because that will hold him a little bit longer yet. So this one, let me see. It's hard because there's no middle name to know if this would be him. Let's see what this case is about. This one, somebody with rental situation. This is, I wouldn't know if this is him. This is some sort of rent. Somebody owes money for rent. You see, this is another thing I'm going to make a recommendation. When you guys start, this is Marsha, Kelly, and Perry Davis of a P.O. Box in Bodden Town. When you guys start now to file these documents, I think we're going to have to start doing the person's full name, middle name, because there are so many people with similar names now that sometimes you're not even going to know. So that was back in 2019. I don't know if that's him. Then we have a Samantha Scott versus Perry Davis. Let's see what this one is about. Let me see here now. This one is, let's see. This one says that, okay, so this person is about purchasing a vehicle, a Lexus 1999 for $1,000. The plaintiff visited the defendant to see the motor car. I mean, this could be him because he's in that business, but again, I don't know. There's no way to know for sure if this is the Perry Davis that we're looking for. So, yes, not sure. Interesting. Okay, don't know. Don't know if this is them. All right, and then there was another one for Marilyn S. Campbell and a Perry Davis. This was August of 2022. Let's see what this one was about. These things are a matter of public record. What a mess. All right, we have this one. Abraham is suing Perry Davis and Marilyn S. Campbell. This one is about, it doesn't say particulars. It doesn't even say this. They didn't even fill out a form to say what their lawsuit was about. What a mess. All right. So we don't know if any of those are actually him. But what I don't see is I don't see any divorce proceedings. I'm just saying. That's interesting. Wow. What a mess. All right, let's move on to the other one that's in court that is very, very interesting. This one now is a matter of, let me see here now. Cash Express. Who's Cash Express? Why y'all keep loaning money to people? Have y'all not learned that that's the riskiest business in the world? Somebody's suing the HSA? I'm going to send this to Renee to look at. HSA is getting sued. Let me me see here. Somebody's getting sued, honey chill. Okay, so let's Elite Marble and Granite being sued. What a mess. The police commissioner being sued. Lordy. Yes, sir. What a mess. Okay. Ooh, y'all love to sue people. Yeah, boy. Bring it on, honey chill. Proven Bank is suing a bunch of people. They want their money back. No, not my friend. The bank suing you, Bobo? Oh my goodness, what's this about? You know when you see somebody name that you know, you're like, huh? What are they suing you for? Oh man, I hope this is not your mortgage situation. Oh boy. I mean, we all getting a little bit of trouble, but you better go talk to your mama. Tell her she better come help you with this situation. What is this? Proven Bank. Okay. Oh, this is a $30,000 loan? Okay. Try and get that resolved, honey child. I don't know what that's about. Owed $19,000. Oh boy. Hot mess. Okay, so listen now. Did you guys see the other guy? Let me pull up his picture for you. Because this one's a hot mess as well, from Nepal. Now, not for nothing, but these Nepalese people, I've been noticing they've been showing up in court lately. And there can't be that many of them here, I wouldn't imagine. My Nepalese brothers and sisters, y'all better shape up, because you might soon find yourselves on the additional scrutinization list, because y'all look like you want to be criminals, are criminals. This person says, keep me anonymous on this, but the last call is correct. I just reported an employee to WRC who is working outside of her permit with us, freelancing and doing marketing for multiple companies on island while we are paying her a big salary and benefits. Snaps. She's still on island and posting every day about exciting meetings and business opportunities. WRC has to do better. In the meantime, I've interviewed 4 qualified Caymanians to do her job and hired 2 of them. Expats are taking advantage of the system because they get away with it. Woo, honey child. WORC, what are you saying for yourself this morning? This is not a good look. I mean, you tell us to report stuff. I send it straight to Jeremy Scott here now. You ask us to help you. We do that, right? We're law abiding. We tell you when people are breaching the law and still nothing gets done. Come on now, shape up. And I'm also going to send it to the minister who's now, Minister, what's his name? Minister Prospect. Oh Lord. Minister Miles. Sending it straight to him. And I'm also going to send it to Mr. Manderson. And I'm going to send it to the Premier. Yeah, they need to shape up when it comes to enforcement. Thank you, listener, to the program. A proper divorce, what's an improper divorce, says this person. You're also supposed to publicly post the date of the marriage/wedding for a certain period to notify the public to avoid situations like bigamy. Here is the problem with that. Our laws are antiquated. They post it where nobody not seeing it. Again, legislators, are y'all listening to me this morning? The new government, NR, what the initials are again? The Coalition for Caymanians, we need you to pay attention, because these antiquated pieces of legislation only hurt enforcement. If your notices were on social media, CMR, where everybody's eyes are on, Bigamy would be non-existent in this country. We would know. Get with the times. Post these things, these marriage notices where they can actually be seen. Okay? At the library, nobody ain't going to the library. I hate to tell y'all. That's the most underused place in the Cayman Islands. Nobody's walking by there to see the bands being posted of who's getting married. Update it where the bands can be posted in a way that suits 2025, where eyes are. This is foolishness. Pure and simple. It don't make no sense. Gabby says her TV still not working. Lord have mercy. Flo, what's going on, honey child? Sort yourself out. Mr. Amelia says no accountability. That seems to be lacking. Miss Brenda, we don't know. She says, what about the previous marriages? Can they say if he was divorced? We don't even know. I can tell you that I don't see them anywhere on the website. I don't see his name. So it makes me wonder if he's never even got divorced. Miss Marva, you've not been feeling well. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better. Tartarian says this is pure, unadulterated slackness by WRC and immigration. CBC. WRC needs from Minister Miles. You were doing their work for them. I mean, we have a lot of questions. Gabby says he could be using fake names too. What a hot mess. Morning, Miss Gladys. All right, let's have a look now at this other fella who's up to no good right here in the Cayman Islands. So this guy, Renee hasn't posted that story yet. Oh boy. I think she's gonna be posting it this morning. Okay. So this guy now, his name is, Lord, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Hold on, honey child. His name is Ashish Thapa. Don't ask, because I'm probably butchering it. All I know is he's from Nepal, and he's involved in all sorts of immigration fraud, fake documents, left, right, and center. No, Bobo. Can't have that. So this guy is into, let me show you his picture here. He's into this fraudulent situation, fake documents. He is making it all up as he goes along. Let me see if this is his picture. Hold on one second here. And so we saw some months ago, we were reporting on another one. There was a whole ring of them here. And I want to say they were from Nepal as well, you know. I stand to be corrected, but I want to say there was a whole gang of them here. And the one observation that the chief magistrate made is she was a little bit disappointed that the investigating agencies did not do more to investigate who was the ringleader, because they caught one guy and they seem to have been happy with that and resting on their laurels and doing nothing further. She said these agencies should have done more. They should have set up like a sting operation in order to find out who else is involved in this, because it was clear that it was just not the one person that they arrested. Now, the magistrate should not be telling y'all how to do your job. I'm just saying. That's why you work for an enforcement agency. You're supposed to have the experience. This is him. Let me get you the details on this one. on why he actually is in court. Another one again. Fraudulent work permit, fake job letter, fake contract, and cropped signatures of WORC employees. What the heck? Now, this dude, if found guilty, not found guilty yet, needs to go to jail for a long time. Crop signatures? Wow. Having a fraudulent temporary work permit? No, he's from Nepal, honey child. Somebody said he looked like he could be a Filipino. Well, you know. So yeah, this one again, extremely disturbing. You come to this country. He's been given bail, and you're doing the most. Had a fake employment contract and job letter in the name of Treats Restaurant. He got them in the mix. Poor Treats. First of all, they should have known that he was an Indian looking. They should have been like, if you're not Indian and you're not Caymanian, you're probably not getting a job at Treats. I'm just saying. Ay. All sorts of fake documents. Cropped signatures belonging to 2 WORC employees. And you see, as the technology becomes better and better, what you will find is it will be somewhat easier for these individuals to utilize the technology to undertake these work permit scams. So we got to step it up. Ms. Beverly says Leon did not give us her money back and he's not answering his phone. That was who, Leon Conley? Which one was he again? So many scammers out there. E. Williams says that immigration should have glass protected and padlocked poster boards at all grocery stores with the person's name and pictures too. Girl, nobody not watching this stuff at the grocery store. Y'all don't even pick up the grocery store flyer to see what's on sale, much less. How many of you have gone through, they have poster boards at most grocery stores and they post those notices. How many of you have looked at that in the last 2 years? I never look at those poster boards, so they're not gonna do no good. You gotta put eyes, do a website, post it on social media. Like I said, CMR will post them for free. We ain't gonna charge nobody because we want to live in a safe country too. Damien says we're in the days of online websites. Exactly. Paul the man says Auntie Sandy for governor. Sandy, you're way past MP status. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Not for nothing, but the governor's job is a little bit ceremonial. A lot of ribbon cutting and that sort of thing. No, we're looking for action round. Yeah. You guys need to step it up. Magdalene says the net should be casted and all of those who are part of the ring deported. Exactly. Don't just catch one. Take your time. Carry out a proper investigation. Pressure them to say who it is. But you see, what's happening here, if y'all don't think human trafficking is happening, Keyman, you better think again. And so some of these people are coming here. They're trafficked to Cayman. They have to pay a fee to get here. And then their families are under duress or even worse in their own countries, right? If they speak up, your family members at home might be hurt. They might be killed. Who knows? But this is our country. And we have to make sure that we are doing our best to enforce the laws of this country and don't get involved and ignore elements of criminality when it comes to WRC immigration border control. because that will open you up to all sorts of issues, including human and sex trafficking. This is a very, very serious situation. Jim says when you come to this country, you're a guest, no matter how short or long, still a guest, including me, act accordingly. Shall. Anthony says there's tons of Nepalese citizens here doing nothing, having convenient work permits. You want to know how many? Just post a test on EK and you'll see how many there are. Really? Speaking of posting on EK, you know, these agencies should start to do some of that as well. This is how you capture people. You can't just always go and do the same thing over and over again. Raiding the bars, you're only going to get probably 1 or 2 Hondurans and 1 or 2 Jamaicans at the construction sites. What you got to start doing again is using the technology, infiltrating them in the way that they know. Listen, if WRC would have someone monitoring this women's and Cayman group, y'all would pick up enough people. Because they are forever on there posting about they need work. They're looking to do this and do that, breaking all sorts of laws of this country. Good morning, caller. I mean, sometimes I see it, I'm just shaking my head. Do you know this is a group with thousands of people? And you guys are sitting here? I don't have any work right now. I'm looking for a job. All right, I'm here as a visitor and I'm trying to find a job. Who wants to hire me? I'm thinking, why doesn't WRC have some sleeper agents in this group? Because you know me, I'll be screen grabbing them and trying to send them through. I'm like, maybe you need to see what this person's really doing here. Oh, I came here, my husband's work permit, but you know, we obviously lied in our application form because we really need a job because he can't afford to keep us. He got a work permit with you as a dependent on the basis that you didn't have to work. All of a sudden, now you got to work. Irks. Pump the brakes on each other. That should never be allowed. That's one of the areas in which they need to tighten up too. If you come to Cayman and you're a spouse and you know your husband says, right, my wife doesn't have to work, she's a dependent, I'm making X amount, me and my 3.5 kids, 1.5 dogs, whatever, and she doesn't have to work, we need to make sure that that status doesn't change. It's a very, very easy fix. For the length of your work permit, your wife or your spouse, because sometimes it might be the husband, will not be permitted to work. And make sure that is crystal clear from the onset. So don't submit no application. Your spouse claim that they're making enough to take care of you. Well, they better take care of you. And all this free time you have, there's lots of volunteer agencies, lots of cat kissing agencies, dog walking, helping with young children once you're vetted properly. There's lots of agencies you could go help picking up poop, cleaning in the bushes, whatever. Lots of NPOs that could use your help. No paid jobs. Your immigration status is not going to change. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
Not bad. How you doing, honey Jill?
I'm good, sweetie.
Yes.
But Sandra, we too have to include our own people. And because a lot of them, they write these fake letters because they too wants the people and they know how much they're paying the people. Yeah. So some are own people, and then it's not some are own people because it's some of their own people that have actually gotten papers or don't even have papers. I've encountered recently so many of them, like you were saying, you place an ad for sales clerk, and it's everybody else beside most of the time your own. You won't even get lost in it because it's so many of them seeking employment. And when you don't, and they'll tell you the stories. And I said, well, how long you been here? A month. So you're changing your job already?
Right?
Yes, you see,
yes.
They just put, my husband just got somebody to do it, or the boss did it, this and that. I said, well, I really can't hire you because you came here on the deception. And I got people here that needs to pay their bills, right? And I said, that is wrong. And this is what is going on. Even the cell phone, I had this guy that I won't call the cell phone establishment. He runs it like he's the boss, buy new cars, do all of this. And then there's another one from his own place. They're the same place from Nepal that he actually brought in and give him the business to run. The man don't know a thing, just brought him. So this is what we have here. And it's not just one nation, it's all, from the white to the black. And again, when we report it, because like you said, when people report it, they're discouraged because if immigration does nothing about it, then what do we do? And the people has gotten so unconcerned that that's the outsiders because they know that nobody takes note. Look at EK Trade. They that's how they live here. They sell. These is people on permit. I can understand you selling one or two things because you have a right. If you got something, it's not. But when you constantly every week posting and it's new stuff and it's, the clothes and the tags and whatever, you're doing business.
Of course.
That's a whole different thing. How can you come into someone's country on a work permit and run a business? I mean, and like you said, why are not someone looking at these things? Because that's where you will find them. Just like me, I post, and Lord, let me tell you, you will be surprised the amount that's here for a month or 2 months or 3 months and they're home sitting down. That's why one thing leads to another. This leads to crime because when that man is making $1,000 and he got $1,000 rent to pay, and now his wife is here, and maybe a child, and they're making $1,000. What they're going to do? They're going to either rip off the employees or they're going to find somewhere else. They're going to open a business. They're going to rob and steal. So, we have created an empire of problems here. And a lot of times we need to blame ourselves. I've had people that work with me and say, can you bring, no, I don't have a job for them. I can't bring them. And then I have people that rent from me and they said, well, my child needs to come up. They're doing so bad here and there. I said, I don't have anything for them, sweetie. That's it. If you don't want to rent from me anymore, fine. I mean, I am not going to sell my soul and my country. And this is where we need to stop it. Yes, sometimes we would like to help. I've been here and I'm married to one man. I know him for 40 odd years. And have I ever taken one of his family? Once, one of his sons. I've never put in permit for one of them. You understand? Because I don't have any job for them that they can do. Right? Why am I going to bring them? This lady comes here and look at a job that my son and my daughter lives here. They brought me up, but I don't have nothing to do, so I'm looking at a job. So the children is here on permit, and then they're taking up her. The one that got a paper is taking up for their mother and their father. We have a serious situation in this little island, more than we know. And
thank you,
sometimes people don't get it because they're not in the business world.
Right.
But if you are, you will see how much problems we have here. So I keep praying that things will change for us because we need it.
We better. Thank you, caller. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, hon.
We better speak up and enforce some changes, because part of the problem is our own people aren't saying anything about what they see. I remember some years ago, I posted something. Somebody alerted me to people down by Fairbanks. Every weekend, they're out there by the bus stop, setting up shop and selling clothes. And you had to see them out of my own Caymanians jumping on CMR, but y'all just a bunch of haters and these people trying to make an honest living and this and that. I was like, excuse me? You can make an honest living in Cayman, but you have to do so within the perimeters of the law. You require a work permit. And if you're out there every single Saturday, as Miss Joy Sands said, selling new clothes with tags on it, and this, that, and the next thing, you are no longer following the law, and you don't have a work permit for it. So listen, I don't care who get in their feelings and who gets butt hurt about the fact that if we know about it, we can post it up and we're gonna call them out. They just trying to make us live in Sandy. Everybody's struggling. Go back home and struggle in your own damn country. And I'm not trying to be rude. Listen to me now. Somebody said I was being diplomatic using one word earlier. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm a very, very sympathetic person. And you know why I'm sympathetic? Because I have lived in somebody else's country. I know the struggle when you're trying to make a better life for yourself and you're trying to, but you have to do it within the perimeters of the law. You can't break the law. So, you know, when some of our friends want to roll up on us, talk about, oh, but your seamen had to go away one day to make a living. Yes, they sure did. But you know what? They got their papers sorted out. You hear them talking about how they would go down to the office at so-and-so. And when they were going on bulk carriers, they would get their papers. They would get whatever little permit they needed. Some of them, even that's how they got American status, because they get them sorted out with the correct papers. They weren't working under the table. They weren't working illegally. They were not breaking the law. So there's a difference. Yes, people migrate, including Caymanians, for better opportunities. That's how we got into turtling. So we have not always been a so-called prosperous country. We've had hard times. We continue to have hard times. And we migrate for better opportunities. Now, we're offering a little something better to a lot of people. They're migrating here. No one has an issue with migration and work permits, but you do it the way the law is intended to work. That's the difference. You don't break the law and then expect sympathy from me. And at the same time, I know so many people that are unfortunately being victimized by Caymanians pretending to be employers because they know the predicament of people coming here and the situations that they're in. And that I don't tolerate either, because that's wrong. And that's a form of human trafficking as far as I'm concerned. I have seen it. There was a nice little Indian lady. I saw her the other day. She's actually working here now. I can't remember where I saw her, but every time I go in a restaurant, I see her working there now. Nice lady. Up Savannah, there used to be a lady there from East End who had a little side roadside food stand doing Indian food. My husband discovered it. You guys know, obviously, he's of Indian descent. So when he heard it, they got roti and this and that and whatever, you know, he's like, oh, I can stop on the way home and grab some of this stuff. He was all into it. Lentils and all kind of stuff. And somebody crashed into the little trolley. Well, when I went there and started talking to the lady, she had to pay for her own work permit. She had to pay all the business license fees, everything. And basically the Caymanian was taking advantage of her situation, knowing that she was desperate to have a little job, all the cooking supplies, everything for the business. And I said, really? Well, this is completely wrong. That's not right. And then people like that get put in a position in this country where they're kind of stranded here, doesn't have the money to go back home. So, you know, she was having to quick time try to apply for another work permit to get a job. Otherwise, what does someone like that do? They're either going to get involved in illegal activity, prostitute themselves, or beg. Now, I'd rather them beg. But we should not have people living in those conditions in our own country. And so sometimes the biggest offenders of this type of thing are our own people. Caymanians, y'all need to do better. Okay? You're ruining this country when you go and pick up a man that has been married multiple times. My apologies. And you're not thinking to yourself, why he getting married 3-4 times? Or are you properly divorced? Sharon, you didn't know if this man was divorced? What kind of paperwork y'all was filling out together? Because normally the responsibility is on the Caymanian spouse to sign and to fill out all this paperwork. Now, you know, when you get married to a foreign national, that changes their immigration status. So there is absolutely no way in hell that anybody can tell me that Sharon did not know what her husband was up to, at least some of it, that he was an overstayer for all this time. And the fact that his name now being called up in this Judean situation, that's even worse. And you were sitting down there, thank God at 9:29, radio is off now. You were sitting down there listening to his cockamamie story about he not had nothing to do with Judean. Don't defend these people. Because when he choking you in the middle of the night and trying to kill you off and then set you on fire, then you're gonna know. Don't defend people, honey child. You don't know what hole in the wall he come from in Jamaica. I hate to tell you, but I know I'm not swearing from. Hell to the no. I'm just saying. Manchester, from Christiana Manchester. I don't know no place I don't know nothing but no Manchester. Next thing you know, he trying to kill you, honey child. Wise up, girl. Wise up. He looking to live the good life off of somebody and anybody. You can imagine. Stick a pin. Your Jamaican husband, your American husband, your British husband, don't make no difference where he's from, cheating on you, and is going to get you to reach out when the woman turn up dead, conveniently, is going to get you to be reaching out to CMR to protest your innocence? In what world are y'all living? I mean, not for nothing. But, yeah, it ain't gonna be me, boo-boo. What? First of all, the second I find out you were cheating in a woman's shop, that your bag's packed by the front door, boo. Because, like I said, you ain't gonna be trying to kill me next. Hell no. Something not right here. You gotta go. I'm not gonna wait for the police to come and arrest you. I'd be calling them. I'd be like, I have a suspect you might want to talk to. Come and get him. Staying there living a good life. Cheers, brother. Got his fruit punch or rum punch or whatever that is up in some restaurant. Which Sharon this is? We gotta get a last name. Living off Caymanians, y'all so damn fool. Jesus. Miss Brenda says that's the coolest place in Jamaica in terms of temperature, even cooler in the summer. Oh, is it a mountainous? Is Manchester mountainous then? Is that why it's cool, or is it, what coast is it on? Ay. Damon says, Jim, many employee agencies recruit from their own country and bring them here, such as Stepping Stone. They need to work off the airline ticket and the monthly rent. After 3 months, they earn another job. And all of that is illegal. All of that is illegal. Oh, my God. Absolutely ridiculous. Yep, big selling stuff out of the back of a car. No business license, no nothing. You're absolutely right, Paul. Plain and Straight says, unfortunately, lots of our educated young people are migrating to other countries for better opportunities. Amjad says, we're going to deport Sandra to Africa, Sudan. Well, you're not deporting me nowhere because I got my Cayman passport, honey chill. And it was before y'all needed to prove that you're Caymanians. Sorry for you, but I don't even have to prove that I'm a Caymanian because of when I was born. I'm just saying. 1973, baby. No acknowledgement required for me. Y'all need to change that shit too. That's a whole other hot mess. Caymanians have to prove. Try and hurry up and fix that. Mr. Miles, you got a lot of work cut out for you, child. You need to be busy, but we need to see you on CMR. We're looking forward to having you coming on, Minister. Good morning, honey child.
Hi, baby. Thank you.
I said you be switching up numbers on me, man. You confuses me. Call me from all these other numbers.
Because I was coming up, this one was free. But anyways, you know the next thing that goes on here. A lot of them are hired in our government, right? And they hire them in positions that Caymanians could fill.
I can't hear you. You're coming in with a lot of noise. What are you doing? I can't make out.
I was putting my stuff in the car.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I said another thing that I always see that's going on here. You have positions and they hire their own right in government to full positions that Caymanians could fill, right? And they have some of these that get in problem and they go right back in the government. They get in problem in the government. They're not Caymanians. And we Caymanians can't go in the government when we have a problem. Okay? They don't want us. They don't want us. But then their friends hire them in positions that Caymanians that's in that department can fill. But no, they don't give it to the Caymanian. They hire their friends. And this is the next thing that needs to stop. Look at the top of most of the departments and the different places in government. Are the Caymanians holding the position? And some of the Caymanians made it 30, 40, 20 odd years doing the same work. And then they bring in someone else and put them in a position. Is that right? No, man, we got to really start to stand up in this little island that you see here because we're already outnumbered. And by being outnumbered, we don't have much say. And when the Caymanians in a business place and they see they hire their friends and they're there and can fill the post, and they just come, send somebody on CMR if they can't come because they got them like frightened because you can't go and you can't say nothing and whatever. It's like be like a communist country. We are not communists. And they need to start speaking out. Speaking to me ain't gonna help. Speaking to someone else that can't, it's not gonna help. I can speak like I'm speaking on you, but you don't know who we are. But they got so many of them that are in departments that Caymanians has been there 30 and 40 years, and they hire their friends and put their friends. You know what? When they're doing anything, their friends is not going to say anything. So what they do, they put their friends there, and their friends back them up. So if you have an issue in that department, guess what happens? That's one next in line is your own. Are they going to go against you and you give them the job? Listen, we got problems here, plenty. And girl, thanks to CMR that we get to hear some of it, and they won't come out. They love you. We listen to CMR, but then they're afraid. They understand the job, but it's a sad situation. So you need to find a way that they could leak out these things, because it's happening right there. And this is depression is taking people. So many people are oppressed. They're working on the depression. They can't even perform. So sometime when the performance come up, they have not performed because the way they're beaten down in their workplaces, and it needs to stop. It's not fair. And that's what they want. So when they grade the Caymanians, it looks like they're lazy, they don't want to work. And that time, the poor things, some of them been working so hard to get a good grade. And when the time comes, they undergrade them again because they don't want them to move. And you got to understand, they're defending their own. We need to defend our own regardless of where they come from, who their papa is. All of this needs to stop. And we need to defend one another. I am telling you, I know some of these is my Caymanian, they're terrible, but they're my Caymanians at the end of the day. I ain't got nowhere to go. I can pay for somewhere else, but my home that's what I tell people. I said my home is Cayman. Nobody can deport me from here. Anywhere I have a piece of paper, the people are free to deport me. I am not going to fight nobody in their country if they decide I need to leave their country. No. So this is why sometimes I get upset when people come here. They want to fight. They want to kill you for the paper. People say, no, you're not qualified. You're not qualified. Go home. Come back on your time and you can work again or whatever. Because the ones that are qualified, they're the ones that don't get the papers. The people that get the papers, it's because, again, the people that's in the departments that know. I had one that got papers in 3 weeks. Law worked in the department. It's right in the right spot. When she got it, I couldn't believe it. I said, well, this is something else. That's a couple of years ago. So it's fair. And people here that has worked and contribute to Cayman. And I must say, my best customers is Jamaicans. They friend with me and they will come in if they want something, they're going to purchase it. Many of the other nationalities will send home and get what they want. They don't spend no money. Their money don't circulate in this little Cayman Islands. Yes, Jamaicans send home a lot of money. I agree. But they spend a lot here too, right? And so they're not the worst. They are not the worst. There are many worse than them. But the problem is they got little hair and skin, a lot of them. And that makes it all right for us as Caymanians. That's my
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. Speaking of hair and skin, looking here at the wife's social media page, trying to find any signs whatsoever. I mean, any signs that she was even in a marriage with this guy. Now, listen, I know that, it's a bit of a conundrum, right? I don't really believe in living your life in social media, because those of you who live your life in social media, it's normally a fake life anyway. And, you're kind of making stuff up. You're pretending to be happy when we know that that's not really what's going on. However, you don't even update your status that you married, that you got a man, nothing. Something not right with this story. Let me tell y'all something. I don't trust no man or woman who is in a marriage and does not put up that they're actually married. Not to say you gotta be posting your husband every minute, but at least update your status that you're no longer available, that you're in a relationship, something. No, sir. Well, my husband, he doesn't really live on social media. He doesn't use it for that. So he wouldn't be the best example, I suppose, of that either. But I mean, Lord Jesus, y'all don't put up nothing. I'm looking really hard, trying to find any signs that your life status has changed, that you got a man. He puts up his daughter. He don't put up me. He put up his daughter, too. Nothing. No, sir. I don't know, Bobo. Something not right, yeah. No. This don't feel right. I don't know. Something not right with this story. Anyway, we'll keep digging and seeing what more we can find. But there's a lot of questions I really would love to have answered. I'm going to speak to some of the respective agencies and see, if you're posting stuff with all your friends, but I don't see a single one, but you hug up with your husband one little bit. Does make me wonder. I'm just saying. Okay. It's exactly, Damien, you could change it to it's complicated. Yes, I'm married to him, but he's seeing somebody else on the side. He got a couple side pieces. That's when you change it to it's complicated. My God, y'all hiding everything. Lord Jesus. Morning, Miss Carol. Strong Will says, please give Miss Joyce Ann a kaboom. It's a hot mess. He takes people money to fix vehicles and then hides, says Ray John. So you know him, the same man here? So he was doing all of that as well? Oh. Gabby says, Sandy, when I was getting married, my marriage officer said, don't post pictures right away because people might think it's a marriage of convenience. So maybe they're doing that. Why would the marriage officer say that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody think it's a marriage of convenience? Based on what? It's not because you're posting pictures. That don't sound right. I mean, listen. If you're with someone for even 6 months to a year, and if you know that he's the one, then, you can get married. Some people get married very, very quickly. Some of these older folks, they're like, well, we ain't fornicating before we get married. So that motivates them to put that in the bag real fast, put a ring on it. That doesn't mean that it's a marriage of convenience. So it's really bizarre that she would tell you that. That is very strange, honey child. I'm not sure why that advice was given, because the posting of pictures in and of itself is not indicative of a marriage of convenience. So that's weird. Jim says too much sneaky shit going on around the place. DEI didn't earn it. Gabby, I would have asked, why would you tell me that? That's weird. Of course I'm in love and I want to share my wedding photo and share my love story. Mm-hmm. At least one little post. Well, I eloped in the sense that when we went to Jamaica, you know, once the family met, the eldest brother, this is very Indian of them, the eldest brother approved. They're like, oh, he not brought no woman home before. This look like this serious. You know, I already had met the in-laws and the favorite brother. I shouldn't say that. One of his other brothers might be listening. Not the favorite brother, but the brother he speaks to every day. Right? So we had met. Sister-in-law had come and checked me out. I'm sure took back the sus. She'll pass. She's all right. Mm-hmm. She'll do. And when the mama met me, she's like, ooh, honey child. 2 days later, I love you. And I was like, irks. It's a little soon to be falling in love with me already. And at a certain age, you know, them people be like, what are you waiting for? You've been dating for 2 years? What's the problem? We waiting Jesus to come back? Let's do it. Ay, ay, ay. What a hot mess. Well, I don't know what to say. Anywho, let me see here. Good morning, Sandy. There's kaboom from Miss Joyce Ann, please. God bless and keep us all. What a mess we're in. All right, summer is here. Some of the kids are starting to get out of school already this week because the marriage officer knew it was a MOC. What's a MOC? Oh, a marriage of convenience. Gabby says we've been together almost 2.5 years. Before you got married? Then I don't know why she said that. Gabby said I shared my photos anyway. It's weird. That is very, very bizarre. Andrea says all you can see now is very young people marrying, and if they were back home, they wouldn't, just for papers. That is also one area, unfortunately, that they're going to have to tighten up, because you see, as they tighten the noose on other areas, right? Okay, civil servants subject to rollover, this one subject to this and that and whatever. What you're going to find happening is they're going to pick the path of least resistance. And unfortunately, the path of least resistance is marrying full Caymanians or status holders who pretend like they're Caymanians. So more and more, that's going to become a lucrative option to getting there. And listen to me. When I tell you that some people will be there for the long haul, so in other words, if they got to stay with you for that 7 years, they're going to hang in there. Then they start to show their true colors once they get that little piece of paper. So they're going to have to start to tighten the noose on these marriages of convenience as well, which means that they have to tighten it for everybody. Every foreigner married to Caymanian, including myself, is going to be in a pickle because of the foolishness. Well, Marlon, he done sorted out. He done got status, but I'm just saying that's how it's going to have to work. So the good will suffer for the bad. It's not always the case, though. The good always suffering for the bad. Lord Jesus, what a conundrum. So Phineas says once they get belly too, Sandy, they marry them. Child, enough of them are gonna be getting pregnant now just to have that anchor baby. We already seen them doing that. What was the name of that one the other day too? Mario Vibes Time. He went and did that. Married multiple times, got his anchor baby. I'm like, shoot, we'll never be able to get rid of him. Sure. What a hot mess. Anywho, folks, we're going to keep on top of them. One way or the other, we are going to keep on top of them. And I tell you what, I'm here for the long haul. So if we got to call them out every single week, you better believe we can do it. Every case we see coming before the court, once we get wind of it, yes, we're going to post it up. Like I said, this one with this O'Neill fella is even more interesting than the regular immigration case because we know that it is alleged by people on the streets that he was Miss Judy Ann's side piece. And now, unfortunately, she's deceased. So he becomes a suspect. I'm just saying. So we all gonna be watching this case very, very carefully. I watching him. I keep my eyes on him. Because something don't seem like it's quite adding up here, if you know what I mean. All right, I will keep y'all updated. And as we know more, as things develop, I'm going to ask some questions about his marital status. Let's see if they'll tell us. Of course, they'll claim that, privacy, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But I think the people have a right to know. Now, let me remind all of you, if you know anything at all, and I do mean anything at all, maybe you weren't even thinking about it. Now you know who this man is. And things are starting to come to your mind, right? And now you're like, yes, this is interesting. Please step forward. We need to have this case resolved. We need to know what happened. Her family, her children deserve to have answers. No one, I don't care who she was sleeping with and what she was doing, nobody deserves to die in such a horrific manner. Okay? We need justice for Judy Ann. So if you know anything that can be of assistance to the authorities, I'm begging you, please, provide them with information. Give them a statement. If you have camera footage, whoever did this needs to be brought to justice. Her children should at least be able to be comforted by knowing that this monster, whoever it is in jail one day. And not just for a year for an immigration infraction, but hopefully for life. This is a case where you wish they would bring back the death penalty. All right, folks. Just want to remind you guys, CMR TV is coming live and direct to you. I was hoping that we could have had Mr. Famous on today, but he had quite a busy morning with some meetings, so he wasn't able to make it. And so we will see who's available tomorrow. We're introducing you to some of the content creators. Wasn't yesterday's show so much fun with Chef Brown? And a couple of you made names, and some of the names he really liked. So we will be doing a reveal on the names, the name of his show soon. And so Romelia says she's a senior who married a young Filipino, got her visa, took off to the US, remarried in the States. How can my senior get his divorce? Well, what you need to do, Romelia, is you need to notify the people in the US that she's not divorced, because that's an offense there. How does he get his divorce? He needs to probably get a lawyer. He can apply for legal aid, and the lawyers will get it sorted out. What a mess. But if she ran off and got married to someone else, even in another jurisdiction, that is bigamy. So you need to notify the people in the state that she did that, and they will certainly sort her out. All right. Andrew says another Stella Roberts murder. This is a small island. It needs to be solved. Well, I suspect, again, the police are working it. They're not going to tell us what they're doing, but let's pray and hope that it is solved sooner rather than later. All right. Folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Exciting times ahead for the platform. I know you guys are very, very excited about the expansion of our content. We're going to have all sorts of very, very interesting content creators on board. If you're interested in being a content creator yourself, do reach out to me, 324-1612. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. It's going to take work on your part because I'm not here to hold anybody's hand. So some of y'all like, oh, I want to do it, but you know, you have to buy stuff for me. You have to do that. Pump the brakes, honey child. I provide some degree of knowledge and information and assistance, but I'm not into hand holding adults' hands, none at all. You're not a child and you're not over 80, then you really don't need me to hold your hand. I'm just saying. And you're certainly not a four-legged family member either. All right. You need to make a better case if it was denied for legal aid. Legal aid you can get for divorces. I helped another senior not too long ago. His was also denied, and I rewrote the letter and stuff for him, and it got approved. You need to make a better case. That just says that the case was not fully explained to them, and that's probably why they denied it. So get somebody to write a proper cover letter, and you have to show them proof of your financial situation as well. So if you know for sure this person has already married, this is a very straightforward divorce. There's no one that's going to be fighting it. All right. That's all she wrote, folks. We'll see you tomorrow with some more Thursday. See you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:30. Until then, please have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, lovelies. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.